Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Air Hauler with me, Heard 37. So in our last flight, we had that horrible flight up to Moscow on our first flight in the 767. It was just, I don't know, the ending was a disaster because it had the airport elevation problem. I've got that adjusted now, and so we're going to do that short flight to Brest. It's only 534 miles, nautical miles. Weight is 88,628 pounds. Weighs almost 500,000, so that's pretty daggone good. I'm still going to have to input everything manually, but there's not near as many waypoints, so I started up this way, just like old times. And we're going to fly this one, of course, ourselves, obviously, in our Air Canada plane. Altimeter is fixed. Unreal. So I'm not going to put any fuel in there. It's only 534 miles. And when we landed, I think I had it set so there would be maybe 300 miles extra. We actually had 900 miles extra, so the burning of the fuel isn't totally correct. It's not a surprise at all. But that's all right. We'll go ahead and fly now, do a day flight, and we'll go ahead and move on over to the plane. All right, everybody, here we are at the plane. This is so odd because watch what happens every time we go outside. It just makes that shriekingly loud sound, so I don't know what's up with that. Batteries on, I've got the APU on. We can probably start a few things here. This is not obviously the correct sequence. I don't have a procedure for this. I'm almost 99% sure one did not even come with 767 from Captain Sim. Alright, so I'm going to turn those on. Actually, our fuel, we actually need one of the fuel pumps on for the APU to run. How it's running without any fuel, I don't know. So there we go with that. Go ahead and put this in auto. Put this in auto as well. Can't get the trim air stuff working just yet. We have to... Oh, I know one thing I want to do. I just checked the fuel and the payload. Everything looks good there. Put these all in a line. We'll come down here to position initialization. Put that in. And I like to give it just a second to be sure. We're taking off, by the way, on 32 left. That is right here. That's what we actually came in on. I did a replay of the landing to record it, and it still went through the bottom. I don't know what was up with that. But I hope you're not like... I think he's going to text you over here. Should be alright. Alright, now we can put those back in the nav. Alright, so that's good. So now the yaw damper can come on. Trim air. Let's go ahead and turn on the gasper. And I'm not going to mess with the packs just yet, because we need to start up the engines. It's technically not supposed to have the packs on when you start the engines. So let's go ahead and start typing stuff in real quick. As quick as I can do it. Our origin is UUDD from Moscow. And let's see, Brest is UMBB. Destination, activate, execute. We're going to depart on, like I said, it was 32 left. And we have the SID, low 32W, transition ADE 10. Nice. That part worked. Legs. Let's go down here. So Adeti apparently is the end of that. And then we go to UK. Here. This one is it? Yeah, just 36 miles to it. Okay, then it's UNDEP. UNDEP. And then UNDEP, we go to Solar. So pick the closest one, Solar. Then it's, I believe it's Rovsi or Rovsi? Let's see it. Rovsi. ROVSI. It's just 38 miles. Pekud, PEKUD. See, if you could just put the number for the route, not the route, but the airway, you could knock out, you wouldn't have to put a bunch of these. They just get automatically knocked out. I guess I could go through and look and see which ones and just ignore the ones that are on the route. Maybe I'll do that next time. Then Lupan. Lupan. And then Sosud. We're almost there. Couldn't do the star. The star is real funky, so I had to put in waypoints again. Maypat. And then the last one is Tadun or Tadun. 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 And departures and arrivals, we're going to be landing on runway ILS 29. Activate and execute. So Tadun, and like I say, it doesn't put in the I don't know why. If I can get nav radios 110.3, that is in fact in heading 289. Yep, that's right. So it'll have it in there. Great for that route. Perf in it. All right, now this is kind of weird. I don't know if I'm doing this correctly, but from what I understand, this is how you can do it. Go over here to the fuel and payload. I'm going to bring up my calculator on my phone because I don't want to bring it up on the computer. And you take gross weight, which is 282, and I've already screwed that up, 282,043, and then subtract from that the fuel, 33,773, and that equals 248,270, so it'll be 248. That'll give you your zero fuel weight. 248. And reserves will say 5. Cruising altitude, let's say 34,000. It's a really short flight, but we can still get up there. Cost index 75. Okay, now we can go over to takeoff. Flaps, we use 15 again. Gives us our speeds. Now, center of gravity, I don't know how to compute that, so I've been leaving that alone. And as you can see down here on the trim, it's right in the middle of the green, so I'm just gonna leave it. I know that's not totally how you do it, but I don't know how to calculate that exactly. And so our speed right here, V2 is 138. Correct? Isn't that 138? Yes, 138. And we can actually come over here to land, takeoff, depart, approach. 132. I'm going to put that in. Alright. Our APU is running. Let's just go ahead and get this all started up. And turn on my fuel pumps. And I've actually never started this thing up. I'll put that on 2. Ground. Of course, nothing's happening. I can't remember how exactly you do this. What button do you hit? Can't remember. So we might just have to hit Control E and start this thing up that way. I can't remember if there's something that you hit to start it up or not, so we pretty much got everything else, so Control E, I'll just go that way. Sorry. Put that on both. Put that on auto. Alright, that one's starting up, so I'll leave it. Seatbelts, auto, no smoking can come on. Sorry, the left one is going. By the way, you have to come over here to these and put this back to norm. Alright, we can now turn the APU off. Later off of that. See, APU fault, but that's because I turned it off. Weird thing. Alright, we'll turn the packs to auto. Put those to continuous, at least for the takeoff. I think you can take that off for the cruise. Alright, flight director comes on. Flight director's on over here. Let's set this to 34,000. Looks like so far everything is going right. We don't have any of the warnings or anything. We'll have a TCAS warning here in a second, but that goes off. Set this to 34. Reset my altimeter, by the way. Sorry, it takes a little while to get this thing all the way up there. Using the middle mouse button and scrolling, it still takes forever. Alright, and the heading for takeoff is 316. Alright, 316. I'm going to arm LNAV and VNAV. You can turn on the progressive text. TCAS. Okay, so it still says TCAS fail. I'm going to put it in TARA. I was just wondering if that helped or anything or not. Alright, traffic button has already been pushed, but if not, you can hit that to see the traffic, and you can see it there. Alright, let's put this over to plan. Make that a little bit bigger. Go over to legs and step through this. Make sure there's no big problems or anything. Yeah, then you come in and, I don't know why it doesn't show the end, but, obviously you turn to the right, go to the runway. I've entered the runway. It's kind of weird that it would just end off like that. Execute. See if that changed it. See if that's there. That still just goes to the end. That's kind of odd. Hopefully it'll all work out. It's like there's always something with this plane, apparently. Let's turn on our taxi light. Make sure this is all off. I should have turned our lights on. There we go. Lock the door. Nobody is allowed in. Alright, parking brake is coming off. And we'll just taxi on down here. So we didn't park at a gate because I was so annoyed. How would we have taxied to a gate anyway? All we saw was ground around us. Ridiculous. Alright, air haulers got us. Alright. She gets up to speed quick. Pull down a little bit. Flaps are going to 15. Auto brakes are in RRTO. They're in RRTO as soon as you start up the plane. Crossing over a little bit. I guess we'll go to the end. 29 miles an hour will slow her down. Why are these all angled like high-speed ramps, exits? At the end of the runway, at this end of the runway. That doesn't make sense to me. Apparently you can park planes over here if they get too busy. Man, they've got all kinds of parking areas. They think they're going to be that busy? They've got the equipment over there and everything. There's another major airport in Moscow too. I can't think of the name. This one's UUDD. I think the other one's like UUSS or something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, there's like two major ones here. runway is here. So we'll come over here and get stopped and make sure everything's set up. I don't see any traffic out there either around the airport now, which we shall check. Alright. Brakes are in RTO, the flaps are set. Let's go ahead and turn on the landing lights. Strobes as well. Let's see anyone in the area. Over here and get in the air. It's really a crosswind, a little bit into the wind as well, as you can see down there. 5 knots. Alright, auto throttles are armed as well. How did we get out so far? Unreal. I don't know if I wasn't paying attention or what. Somehow we ended up way over at the other side of the runway. That's odd. Alright, here we go. Not quite full power. There. Positive rate, gears coming up. They really want this thing to climb, don't they? Almost 4,000 feet a minute right there. Alright, flaps going down to 5. I was going to hand fly it, but we've got an awesome airport below us. Take a look. Turn the gear off. It's going to be loud. This is a great looking airport. Everything's extremely dense. I don't know where Moscow is. I think Moscow is off, up and to our right, but I'm not totally sure. Turn those auto brakes off. We need to get our flaps totally retracted. I think air hauler didn't say anything. We were busy looking outside. Taxi light can come off. I want to go ahead and move this up to 250, though it won't matter because it's not going to pay attention to it. It's all in the FMC. Daggone it, I forgot to check out the altitude. Daggone it. The altitude for Moscow was like 600, so if we go around that, you see, she'll stay up at 34,000. We obviously don't want that. $132. $30 miles away. Wow. Say 175. Actually, that's 70 miles to Taden. So let's say 140. That's 600 feet. Oh, it won't let me put it? But we're in the cruise. I'll go ahead and do it when we're in the cruise. We're already to 11,000 feet. She gets up like a beast. Let's increase our range here. 20 miles. Looks good with those clouds. Very nice. Yeah, I don't know where the city of Moscow actually is over there. Yeah, maybe I'll use my phone and look up the altitude of Brest airport so we can get that in. Like I said, I don't know why it's not connected at the end. I haven't seen that one before. Keep saying UUDD. I don't understand why. UMBB. Still, it ends up at Tatum. I don't think this will work, but let's try. Execute right there. Oh, it's a very awkward plane on some things. Tatum to the airport. That works. But Tatum, that shouldn't be 32 miles, right? Or that's putting it as a like a VOR. I don't know. It's very confusing. Alright, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and speed her up, see if I can figure out the altitude and everything. So, be back in just a bit. Alright, everybody, just slowing it down here. Man, we got weird things like the altimeter's messed up. Like, if I reset the altimeter with the bug, it keeps rolling. It won't give us our correct altitude. Now we've got this instead of the runway, but I think the way that we come in, you can see we have actually the same heading, which is 289 degrees. So I'm hoping if I hit the localizer, it'll capture it right then. Alright, 250, that puts us around 32 miles or so out once we get to right here. I'm going to go ahead and put this range down. And the airport elevation is around 558 feet, something like that. So I figured 600, so I put it to 3,600. We'll stop our descent there. You'll see this thing now thinks that we're 6,500 feet below. I don't know this thing. Because watch, I'll reset the altimeter. Let's see if it keeps rolling. No, it stayed this time. Weird. So this guy's at 10.2. Put the taxi light and the landing lights on. We're supposed to be at 7,500 there, so it was off. It's just odd, some things that this plane does. This is Captain Sim. Some of the other planes are very similar to this, with the knobs, the way you turn them and everything. Weird. And our landing speed is 132, which seems very low. Our last landing speed was 134, so we're down to 132, so I'll end up sitting at the speed of 137. That's weird. Blocks of water. You see she's coming down now. It's just weird, like I would reset it with the, not even this, but with the button on my joystick like I always do, and it started rolling. It wouldn't stop. This thing says that we're actually ascending. Weird. I almost don't even want to use VNav, because I want to be at 3,600 feet here in a bit. Let's go ahead and slow this thing down. So we'll descend at 1,200 feet a minute. You see we're 31.5 out from it. I don't know, actually, because if you look at that, when will we be at 3,600? Let's see, it thinks that we're way too low. Back to the vertical speed. It's putting us into a climb again. The speed, I don't want to be at 280. We're below 10,000 feet. Oh, but it was, oh, it's because it was going up to 34,000 at that speed. Wrong button. Alright, 36,000 feet we need to be. I want to be out here, 3,600 feet. Use the speed brake to help slow us down. Let's see if we can bring that speed down at all. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. It's using, as you can see, it's got the old, it's going up to 34,000 feet with a Mach .801. That's why that was happening. Yeah, it's just over 20 miles out. We can probably not desync quite as quickly. That'll be 10 miles out. Put that at 1800. I'll put this to 180. Be nice if we'd be able to see the frickin' runway. Put that at 2,000. Actually move our range down now as well. Coming up on 6,000 feet. So I wonder if we're descending too quick or not. We'll let up a little bit because we can't actually see the runway or anything. I have no idea where the runway actually is. I'll put it back to 2,000. Because I'm figuring UMBB should be right over the airport. Like I say, I don't know why it wouldn't go over to the airport. This thing is just plain as odd. I'm gonna hold at 4,000. Get rid of that. See if I can get it to arm itself. There we go. It's not a big airport. Could it be something like that right there? Put a little bit of flaps out, like it could be that right there. Does it have it? That's literally looking like an airport. We're just above the glide slope. The approach hold. Kind of nice that we figured out how to use one of these old aircraft. Kind of tricky. I'm gonna knock her down to 170, or like it's gonna be 137. As our landing speed. Well, approach speed. Actual landing speed, like I said, 132. We're only at 5. Good lord. Alright, I'll go ahead and put it down. It was too soon, but I mean, flaps to 5 and you're giving me a warning? Unreal. Make it like 15 or 20, please. Down to 160. Now flaps can go to 15. It's just ridiculous that we're having to do this so soon. But there's so many notches of flaps we got to go through. I don't want to wait till the end. Knock this down to 150. Alright, radio altimeters came alive. And it has this a way different altitude than this. Reset my altimeter, it goes to 2800. This has got it at 2300. That's like a 500-foot difference. We're right on it. Another notch of flaps. I'm surprised we haven't got the landing thing here yet. Alright. Auto throttle off. See if I can keep her steady on the speed. We're a little... now it's coming down too much. Yep, we're about 1,500 feet up. Like I said, the altitude is like 1,500 something. Landing 3, there we go. Our speed is still a little slow. $1,300 feet above. Now the speed is pretty good. I kind of like to see this plane do an auto land once. I don't know if I would trust it. Outer marker. And we're at 1,000. Now, tell me that we're not too high. We are way too high. I was thinking that a little bit ago, like, we look pretty high. And yet it says we're right on the glide slope. Maybe it's because of the altimeter problems.
Sink rate. Sink rate. Sink rate. Sink rate. Sink rate.
This plane really likes to go to the right. It's doing it again like it did at Moscow. Don't drop too fast. We're going way down the runway. I don't know about this plane, guys. I don't know if I want to use this plane anymore. It even says it was okay, which it wasn't. I don't know about this plane. Alright. This might be the last... I'm gonna call it right now. This is the last 767 video. I'm pretty much done with this plane. I'm not really liking it at all. I think I can bear with it on some FSX flights. I've done it once, so I could probably do it again, but I'm really... there's just problems with this plane that I can't get used to. Don't want to get used to. Alright, it looks like I was going to go down here. I thought maybe there's a taxiway, but there isn't, so we're going to have to do a 180 on the runway. Isn't Brest a pretty big place? You would think that Brest would have an air... Actually, I tell you what. We'll go on down. There's a place to turn around. I can see it now. There's a place to go around on the right. So we will go on down. I tell you, I'm not really enjoying the plane. And that makes it, you know, hard to want to fly. Turn these flight directors off. That one usually comes on. It's kind of weird that it's actually off. Because I've checked that on a couple of flights, and when the plane was already started up, that right flight director was already on. That's kind of weird. Yeah, like I say, I'm not really enjoying the plane. Auto brakes can go off. I mean, that was a pretty crappy landing right there, obviously, but we had to dive down at the airport. It said that we were on the glide slope, and we were way too high. I don't get it. There's so many way better planes out. I don't think we should waste our time with this one at all. Not waste any more time. I've already wasted enough. This is a critical time because I've got, like I say, my job starts in 13 days. I'm leaving town here in a few days for a golf trip. So when I come back, I'm gonna have like 4 or 5 days maybe. That I've got to get stuff, you know, packed up and stuff like that. So I don't want to waste any time. And this feels like a huge waste of my time. I've been trying these flights out for a few days now for the 767, and yeah, this is the end result. Are there even any major airport buildings? I think there's some here on the left. Yeah, isn't that weird though, that it said that we were on the glide slope and we were so high. Oh my goodness. This plane. I'm done with her. Let me see something. Alright, there it is over there. If we came over in the in this direction, landed this direction, would have been nice, but as you can see, we actually did it correctly with the wind. That the wind hasn't changed. It always changes during the flights, it seems. Oh, by the way, we can turn TCAS off. I see the fail, might as well turn it off. Yeah, unfortunately, I was kind of excited to get this plane out again, but I've flown it before, but it's got some problems I just can't deal with, and I don't want to deal with it. It's just not worth it with this plane. We'll keep it in the fleet. It carries 90,000 pounds of cargo, so I'm happy with that. I had to fiddle with the config file a little bit to get the weights properly. Also, you know, I had to subtract weight for the seats and things like that. That's what I came up with, about 90,000 pounds of cargo, 91. Which it is a fairly long-range aircraft, the 767. It's got a range of like 4,200 miles, 4,500, something like that. So it does have it can carry a load quite a ways. Up here, landing lights should go off, strobes off, I said. There we go. I guess we'll just pull straight ahead. Well, no, I guess it goes off to the left. Where should we go? Where should we go? I'll go left. Looks like these are for some smaller planes, though. I thought Brest was a big city. Like big Brest, you know? Come over here. It's such a small little parking area that we can't really fit here, obviously. We'll do our best to swing her around. How far off am I? Yeah, the other one off to our right is actually better, well suited for us. Not really a parking area for us, is it? It's about as well as I'm gonna do it. Well, at least we didn't kill the plane either. Parking brake is on. Taxi light, you can go off. So we'll just cut the fuel. Just turn everything off, man. We're done with this plane. Just turn it off. We'll go over to air hauler and get paid. Alright, we'll come over here and unload it. We did no damage, which is surprising the way we came down. I thought we were still well above the runway, but I don't know about this plane. Job completed. Well, at least we made some money in the plane, I guess a little bit. Because that's 2 flights and we're done with it. I don't know what we'll do next. I thought about going back to the 757 because I have flown that since we used it. And I gotta say, I really enjoyed that plane. I really, really enjoyed that plane. Doing some flights. We might revisit because I don't think we did a whole lot of flights in it from Quality Wings, the 757. That's a pretty nice plane. But yeah, we've got some other ones other than that to do as well. So I can still carry on air hauler if you all want for a while, showing planes that we either didn't do very many flights in or didn't show at all. So I kind of want to do that. But that's going to be it for this episode, everybody. I hope you all did enjoy it. It's also just the end of this episode, end of the 767. Bye-bye to that plane. I don't like it. I'll see you guys on the next flight.